Mr. Ray, roll call, please.
Cassidy.
Here.
Dotting.
Present.
Holman.
Here.
America.
Present.
Perlman. Ryan.
Present.
Scanlon.
Present.
Smith.
Present.
Snow.
Here.
8 present.
Mr. Perlman let us know prior to the meeting that he had a prior work conflict and could not be in attendance to tonight's meeting. Moving on to School Spotlight with Miss Monique Farmer.
Good evening, Board President Snow, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Logan. We are pleased to present this evening the Burke High School Theater Department as tonight's OPS Proud Spotlight. In June, the Omaha Performing Arts presented an annual award showcase at the Orpheum Theater to recognize the outstanding achievements of high school musical theater productions and students. 71 musical productions were judged from across the state, and Burke's production, Crazy for You, scored in the top 10 for outstanding musical productions. This is the third year in a row that Burke's musical production has received this honor from Nebraska High School Theater Awards. Additionally, student Mia Sherlock was also selected as one of the top 10 supporting actresses for her role as Tess in Crazy for You. Also in June, Burke represented Nebraska at International Thespian Festival with their show Be the Light. The performance was chosen as the State Thespian Festival in January earlier this year. Be the Light is a movement piece created by Omaha Burke Theater Director Emily Mokrisky. Only 25 schools from across the country performed as a chapter select show at the International Festival. Student Boston Reed composed the music for Be the Light. Mia Sherlock helped choreograph the show, and M.J. Ingram wrote the poem used in Be the Light, which was also selected to be published in a magazine. We salute our Burke High School students this evening for their award-winning performances, and at this time, I would like to welcome Emily Mokrisky and Principal Gay Lannon to the podium for remarks.
Thank you so much for this honor. I'm very, very proud of these students. I'm going to have them speak. The great thing about especially Be the Light was it was a student created. Yes, I was at the helm, but they really did a lot of the creation for this production. So I'm going to let them talk.
I'm Boston Reed. Not only did I play Bobby Child in Crazy for You, but I composed the music for Be the Light, which we took to International Thespian Festival. One thing that I just want to say that I'm very grateful for is that ever since I've been in school, in elementary school, in OPS, I've been given this opportunity to just excel in these kind of departments, and I found something that I really love to do, and I just want to thank OPS for allowing us to do that and that kind of stuff. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mia Sherlock. I was the choreographer for Be the Light, and I also played Tess in Crazy for You. And I had a great time during Crazy for You working with the cast and persevering through a lot of snow days and missed rehearsals, and we still came together and put on a great show. And it was a really difficult show with a lot of tap and a lot of dancing, and I just had a great time working with all of my peers in doing that, and then with Be the Light, being able to collaborate with everyone, with Boston with the music and MJ with the poem to do the choreography. It was a really unique experience, and just once again thanking OPS for supporting the arts, because it is really important, and it's skills that I've learned through theater and dance that I'm taking with me for the rest of my life, so thank you.
Hi, I'm MJ Ingram, and I wrote the poem for Be the Light. At the beginning of the rehearsal process, Ms. Mo asked us to come up with like a poem or a quote that showed what light meant to us. And as I was thinking about it, I couldn't use someone else's words to express what light meant to me. So I wrote my own poem that ended up being used in the end of the play. And it was just awesome to it was a great time to do the poem, in this world of darkness, to be the light, and that was really our message that we wanted to get across. So thank you.
Well, this evening I get to just tag along with this wonderful group, but I would like to echo some of the comments and thank the board and the community of Omaha for supporting the arts. One of the most important things that students can do to prepare for college that has a direct correlation to success in college is to get involved with doing performance. And so it's very important that we have those activities for students, but these three students here are just a wonderful example of a large group of students at Burke High School that are student leaders in our building. And I can't thank Ms. McCrisky enough and our other performing arts teachers that really make that program shine at Burke High School. They're highly dedicated, spend hours and hours, weekends and weekends working on their craft. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for inviting us tonight.
One second before you guys dash off.
Yeah.
We have some board members that would probably want to make some comments and congratulate you. Mr. Scanlon?
I'd just like to ask, where did you guys all go to middle school?
We all went to Beveridge.
You all went to Beveridge. No, that's great. I'm glad that was the answer because I love the magnet programs, and I know that the theatrical middle school leads you guys into Burke and everything. And could you guys just briefly tell us how that helped benefit you guys?
Yeah, so I'd say the magnet program at Beveridge was where I first, I've always been a dancer since I was little, but the performing arts magnet at Beveridge is where I first started doing theater and plays and musicals, and Mr. Schick is there, and he's awesome. And middle school is really weird and hard, and it was just, it is, and it's such a safe place for me, and I'm sure for all of us that we could go to, and then Beveridge kind of led us to Burke, which also has just an amazing theater department. So I think the magnet program helped us zero in on that kind of space and helped us focus on what we love to do. So I hope I had good answers
Yes.
for that one.
Well, I thank you guys for that because that's very important as we, as a board, start to look at magnet programs and look at what our students are interested in and what we can help them, just meet the expectations that they want. And I truly believe that program has been great. I've gone to a play or two at Beveridge, and it's definitely head and shoulders above the rest of the district that doesn't have that magnet program. So great job, and wish you all well in the future.
Mrs. Gotti?
Well, I had the good fortune of seeing Crazy for You, and one of the questions I asked the students before we started, and you really kind of had to see it to believe this, but was the tap portion, and I know Mia mentioned that. Tell the board how many people knew how to tap before and how many people were totally in sync, choreography, perfect, doing tap during the performance.
There were about 5 or 6 who had tapped, and there were about 30 students who were tapping in the tap ensemble, and a total of 65 kids dancing on stage all together. So our choreographer was excellent. I just, hired her and helped support that, but, they really worked very hard. We did workshops months before we started the production, knowing we were going to do that. So,
well, I think that just speaks to the dedication of the students who are involved in the program, because I sat in the audience and was just in awe thinking, all of these kids, where were they all taking taps since they were 2 or something? Because it was such an amazing performance. So some of you were, but I know not everybody. So I just want to congratulate you on great performances, and for anyone listening and anyone in the audience, just to always remember the Burke musical in the spring is one of the best deals in town because you get a lot of talent. So congratulations also on your awards.
Thank you.
Dr. Logan?
Well, thank you. Many things came out in your remarks and meeting you earlier. And I have a hashtag. I think I coined it. It's arts equals smarts. And I used it last week when I was talking about Bye Bye Birdie. But the thing that really struck me was that how you talked about middle school is hard and that drama made a safe place for you. So thank you for sharing that with us, because I'm sure it makes a safe place for many students. And that was terrific. I'll also pass that on to your principal at Beveridge Middle School, because I'm sure he'll be good to hear that. And I just think the whole thing makes a great tweet. So you're going to get me a lot of likes this evening. So thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much. If you guys can come around the table, we would love to shake your hand and congratulate you in person. And then after, we'll take a photo right here in the middle. Moving on to Board and Superintendent Communications, the Treasurer's Report, Connie Kanoki.
I'd like to submit for your review the Treasurer's Report for the period ending June 30th, 2018, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Moving on to Superintendent, Dr. Logan.
Good evening, President Snow, Vice President Merrick, members of the Board of Education, and all in attendance here this evening. This past week, the district held the first weekly district readiness for smooth opening meetings with central office departments to include operations, transportation, facilities, nutrition service, student and community services, academics, human resources, and information systems. These joint meetings allow for various departments to review the connectedness of readiness in one division to other departments to ensure that we are communicating well internally with the mission of a smooth opening. While they will take a hiatus this week, beginning July 24th, they will continue weekly with departments working together or with partners to include Jacobs Construction and Student Transportation of America to ensure our students, parents, and community that we are ready to receive all 53,000 students on August 15th. Our central office staff is busily working, and I want to specifically thank some of the leaders, Travis Salas, Dr. Tony Turnquist, Tammy Yarman, Lisa Utterback, Melissa Comine, Charles Wakefield, and Rob Dixon, and their teams for ensuring a safe and happy school opening for all. I'd also like to thank Mr. Barry Thomas and Team Social Studies for the unveiling on Friday of student-made documentaries through the ongoing program Making Hidden Histories Visible in collaboration with students from the University of Nebraska and other universities. Incoming 9th grade students interviewed and created documentaries featuring several historical figures that are in and around Omaha. Themes included women in indie rock, the history of funk in Omaha, mariachi music genre, and the stories of new immigrant communities in Omaha, to name a few. It was clear, as students spoke of the experience of documentary filmmaking and learning about these individuals who are our neighbors and whose stories are often untold, of the profound impact of learning of their stories and their place in the overall history of Omaha. It was inspiring. All OPS high schools were represented brilliantly by these incoming 9th graders, thanks to the Sherwood Foundation for their generous support of this program. Students from Omaha Public Schools representing the 100 Black Men of Omaha at the 32nd Annual 100 Black Men of America's Annual Conference in Hollywood, Florida. From Beveridge Magnet Middle School, students were led by Assistant Principal Michaela Jackson as they competed against other chapters nationally, finishing second. Also, mentees of the 100, Davion Sayers and Caleb Bates, both Omaha North graduates, attended the conference and networked with over 2,500 mentees, mentors, and members from the 100 chapters throughout the nation. And I think they got a good deal because it was in Hollywood, Florida, so good for them. And I heard they went on a boat ride, too. That was amazing. So good for them. And lastly, I'd like to congratulate Mary Geiger. She is a rising star, educational rising star. She is the newly appointed principal of Sherman Elementary School. They are very, very fortunate to get her there, and I'm tickled for her. Congratulations, Mary, and to your family. And also, I'd like to congratulate Dana Barker on her move to Belvedere Elementary as she takes on a larger role with a bigger student population, so we're very happy for Ms. Barker as well. Mr. President, this concludes my notes for this week.
Thank you so much, Dr. Logan. Board members, any comments? Mr. Smith?
I just wanted to make sure that I brought it up here at our board meeting that we lost Mr. Chris Wiley July 2nd. He was an amazing mentor and advisor, an amazing educator. His passion for youth and students was infectious. He will be missed by the district. My growth as a college advisor and program director came under his guidance and research, and he always provided me with wisdom. And so I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledge him as a board and show our appreciation to his family for letting us have him for so long.
Thank you. Mr. Scanlon?
I was not able to attend the last board meeting, but I did want to say that was able to, I guess the Friday before that board meeting, go to the Burke High School summer graduation. I think we had about 15 students graduate, and it was just great to see students that, you know, whatever path they took, and they were able to catch up and finish up. We had some graduates that, you know, didn't fall by the wayside, and they got their diplomas, and they're going to move on and see what they can do post-secondary. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, since this morning, I started my morning meeting with Mr. Richard Rubb, the CEO, president of the 100 Black Men, and there was a small room at the Scooters off of 30th and Ames, and there was a group of women in there just working away, and I was like, who are these women in here? And I went in there, and it was Boyd Elementary, their leadership staff, doing their planning for their kickoff to school. They'll be in the Mills building this upcoming year, and I just wanted to give a shout out to the Beavers and the principal and her wonderful staff that was there the entire day planning and strategizing of how to open up a good school year for their students that will be at the Mills building this upcoming year. So with that, thank you so much. Moving on to public comment. The next item on the agenda is public comment. We have one speaker who has submitted a request to speak for him. The board has adopted policy 8346, which provides public comment for a period of 1 hour. That same policy limits individual speakers to a maximum of 5 minutes. We ask that you respect that time limit. Mr. Ray will let you know when you have 1 minute remaining and when you have 30 seconds remaining. If you're in need of interpreter, please let Mr. Ray know, and one will be provided for you. If the subject of your public comment is related to a particular student or staff member, we ask that you not mention the student or staff member by name and instead provide that information to Mr. Ray. He will assist us in looking into those types of details for you. If you do not get an opportunity to speak and would like to submit any written commentary, please provide it to Mr. Ray. He will make sure each board member gets a copy. As a reminder, we ask that you please spell your name and state your address before you begin public comment. It is 7:21. And we begin our public comment. We have one speaker, Jonathan Chapman. Mr. Chapman, please don't take the full hour, but since you're our only speaker, but we won't run the clock on you this time.
Only because you said please.
Thank you.
Good evening. Jonathan Chapman, Jonathan Chapman, 5507 James Street, 68104. President Snow, Vice President America, Superintendent Logan, and board members, it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak to you today about the exciting things that I have personally experienced that are happening right now in OPS. First, I would like to thank you all, and especially Board President Snow, for the remarkable change in culture on the board since the turn of the year. Together, you made a phenomenal decision to take my advice and appoint Ricky Smith as the representative for my district, Subdistrict 1. And 6 months later, I'm positive you can attest that he's everything I said he would be and more. Your demonstration of collective effort and willingness to have the tough conversations and continue moving the district forward to ensure every child, every day, has access to every opportunity to advance in life is refreshing. Your decision to put the past behind you and forge ahead has changed the tone of the district, and the conversations I'm privy to throughout the community are optimistic. The addition of Dr. Logan to the team has been the icing on the cake, and your majority support in the face of minor opposition has, I believe, laid the foundation for Omaha Public Schools to become a leading district on the national level. That is the kind of district I want serving my children as they grow older and find their place in the world, and I'm thankful for your collective leadership in getting us there. Kudos for you aside, I'm here today to briefly share my recent experience with what I believe is the hidden gem of Omaha Public Schools. For 2 weeks during the month of June, I, along with 2 other coaches and 38 14 and 15-year-olds, had the pleasure of experiencing the Career Center as a part of the Step Up Omaha Explorers Group. Divided into smaller groups over the 2-week period, the teens got a hands-on introduction to the digital video production, CNA, construction, robotics, EMT, photography, electrical, and automotive programs. The instructors for each program were clearly passionate and knowledgeable about their area of service, and the passion directly influenced the participants. Prior to visiting the Career Center with the Step Up Omaha program, many of the participants, though OPS students, did not even know that it existed. The Career Center experience, organized and planned by the Career Center staff led by Mr. Jeremy Crowley, had a profound impact on the participants and their understanding of the options available to them. As a part of the Step Up Omaha program, we as coaches are charged with helping these teenagers that we work with to begin to explore the wide variety of career options that are available to them. The Career Center has added an invaluable measure of fuel to these young people's fires as they have not only started to dream bigger about their futures, but more importantly, realize that those dreams are actually attainable. OPS has done an amazing job creating real opportunity for these young people of Omaha, and I hope to hear and see more about the wonderful things happening at the Career Center throughout the community. If you haven't recently visited, I would encourage you to intentionally make the time to visit and ask questions. I'm positive that you will love what you hear. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And for the record, the Career Center is here at the TAC building. It's 1/3 of this facility. And if you hadn't had a chance to tour the Career Center, I challenge you to do that. It's amazing. Moving on to the consent agenda, I will now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda that is before us.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Holman, second by Ms. Ryan. Any abstentions? Roll call, please. Mr. Ray?
Holman.
Aye.
America.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Scanlon.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Cassidy.
Aye.
Gadding.
Aye.
8 aye.
Motion carries. There is no action item or information item on the agenda. I will now entertain a motion.
I move that the Board of Education go into closed session for the protection of the public interest and for the prevention of needless injury to the reputation of individuals to discuss with the superintendent, secretary to the board, and legal counsel negotiations, legal advice, and pending litigation.
There's a motion on the floor to go into closed session by Vice President America. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
America.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Scanlon.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Cassidy.
Aye.
Gadding.
Aye.
Holman.
Aye.
8 aye.
8 aye. Thank you. Let the record reflect that the purpose for closed session is for the protection of the public interest and for the prevention of needless injury to the reputation of individuals, to discuss with the superintendent, secretary to the board, and legal counsel. Negotiations, legal advice, and pending litigation. Let the record reflect the board went into closed session at 7:27.
Mark, they're ready now.
Let the record reflect.
Oh, now we're just waiting for Mark. Mark, he's pointing at you and just ready to go.
Let the record reflect the board came out of closed session at 7:53. Let the record reflect the board adjourned at 7:53. Thank you.